Okay, I'm going to start by saying George Floyd was just a worthless street thug who got exactly what he deserved. Let's head over to the swamp and I'll explain. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the swamp. Well, that sounds like a pretty racist statement, but that's just because I'm a white guy. Here's why it's not racist, not even a little bit. Look up the statistics over the last 10 years or even 20 years. You'll see the vast majority of people getting shot and killed by the police were white people. I'm sure you all remember the tragic story of, what's his name? Got shot by the cops. Or how about, no, we don't know any of them. And why is that? Well, it's mostly because the Marxist lamestream media won't report on it. They probably figure it would fuck up their grift of white cops out indiscriminately shooting down young black scholars on sight. But the truth is that we just don't give a shit. I figure all these white guys being shot by cops are just a bunch of low-life street thugs that probably got just what they deserved. And I don't much give a shit what color the cops who shoot them are either. To me, it's the good guys against the bad guys. And race has absolutely nothing to do with any of this. I thank all of them for ridding our society of these animals that for whatever reason, it doesn't matter now. It's too late to care about that. So for whatever reason, they just can't act like normal human beings. So I don't care if it's George Floyd or some white low-life piece of shit. I say good riddance to all of that garbage. But it's the way these black, useless thugs are treated that's truly disturbing. The way the left puts them up on a pedestal like some kind of hero. And they actually get people to worship them. Pitiful. This is where the real racism comes into play. And it's not your standard obvious type that the left usually pulls. I think this goes a lot deeper than that. It's like, I'm sure you've all noticed how dumb so many of these black liberals in the media are. Whether they're politicians or lamestream media talking heads or entertainers. And yeah, it's the same on the white side too, but I'm talking about the black ones now. So what we have are two categories of people. You got your dummies, and then you have your manipulators. That would be guys like Obama and that Van Jones guy from wherever he's from. These guys know exactly what's going on. They know the Marxist playbook inside and out. Hell, they probably helped write it. So first, I want to name a few of these ignoramuses, just so you know who I'm talking about. The actual voted-in politicians would be people like Maxine Waters. Just listen to pretty much anything she's ever said, and I think you'll agree she's about as dumb as a box of rocks. Or how about that Congressman, Hank Johnson? He seriously said the island of Guam was going to tip over if too many people got on one side. I mean, how dumb do you have to be to believe something like that as a grown adult? Unfucking believable. And as far as the media morons, well, you got your Joy Reid, of course, who, as we all know, just got fired pretty much because of her stupidity and racism. And then there's that Sunny Hostin. Well, she can't see the difference between deporting thousands of low-life thug, criminal, illegal aliens and the Holocaust. So what does that say about her intelligence? And you can't forget that horrible excuse for a woman, Whoopi Goldberg. That would be an all-day event to list all of her contributions to her own stupidity. And I could go on and on with this list of media morons, but I won't. You know who they are. Now, let's look at the celebrities they try to push on us or give the loudest voices to. Starting with probably one of the dumbest guys I've ever seen on TV that actually has his own show. It's Charlemagne the Dog. You know, I won't use his ego-inflated preferred so-called name because I think it's sacrilege. Besides, he's a lot closer to a dog than he is to a god, at least as far as his intellect is concerned. And I'll just give one example of his ignorance, which not only exposes him as a weak little beta male, but also shows the way their brainwashing grift works. And of course, when I refer to them or they or their, I'm talking about the deep state, the globalists, the shadow government, or whatever you want to call them. The people behind the scenes that have really been running the show for a long time now. But not for much longer. Now that we've put Trump in charge, he'll clean this whole mess up. Okay, back to that idiot Charlemagne. When Joe Biden said to him in his best black street accent, because that's what these lefties do to show they're one of them or that they're down with them. So Biden says, and I quote, "If you don't know who you're voting for, then you ain't black." Well, you could see the fear and panic in Charlemagne's eyes, like he was disappointing his dad or something. You know, any self-respecting black man would have seen through that racist bullshit statement instantly and jumped down that old white dude's throat and tore him a new asshole on the way out.
What in the hell does that even mean?
I don't know where that came from. Anyways, I just see him as a little candy-assed sissy pretending to be something besides what he really is. And last but not least, you've got your Al Sharpton. You know, this guy's nothing but a sleazy street pimp out of the 1970s who found an easier way to scam or grift people. You know, he proves his stupidity by being dumb enough to think normal, common sense thinking people are going to believe his lies. Now, I used to think they picked these dummies so they could easily control them. But now I think it's to show the public how dumb they are and why they need these bleeding heart liberal leftists to take care of them or protect them from this white supremacist, systemically racist country of ours. You know, it's like they're trying to seek out the dumbest of the bunch and convince us these are the brightest of the bunch. Because as we know, the blacks can't even get a decent education in America. You see what I mean? All right, this is all going to come together in the end, so please stick with me. And if you haven't already, give me a like and subscribe. Thank you. Well, we all know that's not true about them being the brightest of the bunch. All you have to do is listen to the black people on our side of the aisle. And since I named names on their losers, well, I'm also going to name names of the winners on our side. You know, most of them I know from their YouTube channels. And there's literally so many of them, you can only name a few here. Yeah, and I'm taking it for granted that you're familiar with all these people. If not, check them out. So yeah, you got your Officer Tatum, an ex-cop. This guy's brilliant. And then you got Greg, I don't even know his last name, from Black Conservative Perspective. Also a great guy and really funny too. And then you got your Candace Owens and that kind of new young guy on Fox News, Lawrence Jones. And then you got Harris Faulkner from Fox News and Diamond and Silk, although it's just Silk now. I guess Diamond passed away a year or two ago. And my new favorite politician, Byron Donalds. He's running for governor down here in Florida, and I'm sure he'll win. Trump's already supporting and endorsing him. what you got to know is it's not so much these guys being that much smarter than anyone else as it is them just telling the truth and using common sense. That's the key, truth and common sense. If your spiel is based on lies, it makes it impossible to back it up. And the more lies you tell, the tougher it is to keep them going. It's just like that old saying, oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive. That's why we find so many videos from the past with these lefties saying the exact opposite of what they're saying now. Eventually all your lies catch up to you, and then you're fucked. Well, that's where the Dems find themselves now. They can't afford to start telling the truth because it would bring down years of lies. So they have no choice except to double down on the lies. None of them have the integrity or the balls to just start telling the truth and putting themselves on the mercy of the court, or in this case, the mercy of the people, who probably would forgive them and give them a chance to make amends. We all know they're projecting their own racism onto us, and it's been working for them for decades. So how do we escape this trap? It's like being blackmailed for something we didn't do. And that's where truth and common sense comes in. It's like this video. I'm sure they would label me some kind of extreme right-wing racist, but because I know I'm not a racist and that I'm telling the truth, well, then I just laugh in their faces. And I know I'm just a little guy over here who's pretty much got nothing to lose, but until everyone starts standing up to them like this, their grift will never end. And now that we have Trump in there, things are already changing for the good. More people are starting to use their common sense and seeing all the bullshit they've been fed. That's why so many so-called people of color voted for Trump. Truth and common sense. So in closing, I just wanted to say, I despise all the black street thugs, and they need to be taken off the streets by any means necessary. And their blood is on their hands. And I also despise all of the white street thugs. And there's a hell of a lot more white ones than black ones. Well, they also need to be taken off the streets by any means necessary. And their blood is on their hands. And the same thing goes for all the dumb pundits of every color. The vast majority of them being white. Well, I'm sick of listening to their stupid bullshit. Although I must admit, sometimes that can be the funniest shit out there. Here's what their racist grift really boils down to. They've got to say or do whatever it takes to convince the people that the black community needs these white overlords to survive in this white supremacist, systemically racist country of ours, through no fault of their own. And that's a key point in this grift, claiming it's not their fault that they're so dumb. That way they can openly insult the intelligence of the black community without sounding racist. They'd be like, yeah, the blacks are dumb, but it's us evil white people who are to blame for it. Imagine coming to this country for the first time, knowing nothing about the blacks except what the Marxist lamestream media told you. You would be in shock. I mean, go to any hospital and you'll see that probably half of the staff, nurses, doctors, administrators, are black. Then go to any courthouse and you'll see the same thing. Half of the lawyers and half of the judges are all black. Then go to any university and same thing again with the students and the faculty. Then notice who runs our major cities throughout the entire country. The majority of the mayors are black. The majority of the police chiefs are black. The attorney generals, most of the district attorneys are all black. So then you'd be like, oh, what the fuck? I thought you said blacks have absolutely zero chance to succeed in this white supremacist country. You know, it's just another example of how truth and common sense destroys their lies. Okay, here's this week's stupid shit off the top of my head. You know, here's the only reason that the Dems refuse to accept that they lost this election because of their woke identity politics. You know, they obviously believe that they're somehow going to have a big grassroots movement or comeback for their silly woke agenda. I mean, they seriously are delusional. It's hard to believe that so many supposedly educated, grown adults are in like exact unison for all the exact same crazy, bizarre, and really downright evil beliefs. You know, in all seriousness, I truly believe it's some kind of satanic cult. You know, and I honestly don't think they realize it. Well, that's about it. Hope you liked what I said. All comments are welcome, good or bad. You know I love them all. And if and you feel like it, subscribe and like. Until next time, see you at the swamp.